RENMINBI Rising, a global monetary system emerged by William H. Overholt, Guonan and Cheung, Kwok, published by Wiley. Chapter 1. Internationalizing the RMB. The rapid internationalization of renminbi is driving and being driven by a fundamental and historic transformation of the global financial system. The impact, which is only starting to be felt, will eventually ripple across the entire world, affecting economy, government, business, and household. The ramifications are clearly profound. While some are predictable, others are purely understand, and much is necessarily plain unknown. However, history warns that no substantial realignment of the global monetary system is without risk. Indeed, as we showed in Chapter 2, the results have at times been catastrophic. While conscious of this caveats and the nascent stage of the current changes, we nonetheless see cause for optimism in both the direction and progress of the RMB's internalizations. In this chapter, we shall describe our findings with a broad brush, leaving the details and most documentation to subsequent chapters. Even as recently as 5 years ago, few could imagine the rapidity of the RMB's rise. This has been both a cause and consequence of the perfect storm of four key converging trends. Increasing international use of tea driven by a combination of cost saving for business, Beijing support backed by domestic reform and openings, and the growing weight and influence of China's economy. US resistance not only to modernizing and expanding the Bretton Woods institution that have guided global monetary affairs since 1944, but also to accepting new alternatives designed to fill the growing gaps. This skepticism, especially among emerging nations of the existing system in the wake of the 2008 to 2009 global financial crisis (GFC), in particular, they are questioning whether it was the optimal means to achieve stability and prosperity, the continuing relevance of Bretton Woods institutions, and the role of the US Federal Reserve as the de facto world central bank, given that it is required by law to primarily serve US interests. China's promotion, particularly in Central and South Asia, the Middle East and Africa, of the kind of development that help OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, countries prosper and integrate, as well as enabling institutions. Base pattern of RMB's internalization from here will continue to depend on and drive these global and domestic developments. The conditions for becoming a global currency. Patience alone does not guarantee a currency's global importance. The New Zealand dollar, for example, is highly internationalization but of little import beyond its border. Three connections are required for any currency to become a global heavyweight: a large and growing domestic economy, substantial and open capital markets, and trusted, effective institutions to manage the economy and markets. China faced both a prowess and serious challenges in each of these areas. Economic drivers, growth, and reform. China certainly appears to meet the first of these three conditions. After little more than 3 decades of galloping growth, Deng Xiaoping's reforms and opening is now the world's second largest economy and the biggest by purchasing power. However, it can no longer continue expanding the 10% pace of the past 35 odd years. Even to maintain a relatively rapid annual rate of 6 to 7%, China must overcome 4 substantial challenges. Combined, they present a formidable hurdle. First, the most engines of the economy needs to be changed. China has to effect a transition from being driven by. End of page 2, continued later.